Hey, hey, hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnout2allout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in.
But after attending the content audit call, there was a talk about the transition from academics to this space and how to transition the writing and everything. And one thing that really led me to, which I've struggled with, and if you go to my website and everywhere, it's different because depending on who I talk to and where I'm at, my answer to this changes. Titles. Should we, in this space, be using them or not? And now, namely mine, because even in the course of the last 3 weeks since I joined this program, I've been changing it. Should it be the PhD at the end? Should it be at the doctor at the front? Should I just be dropping it and they can look at the credentials? And when I'm working with entrepreneurs like this, and especially in my space in academics, that doctor means something. So curious to get some input here. Brandy and I are talking tomorrow morning to discuss it because she was the other one on that content call. And I know it's a little thing, but at least in computer science, in that space that I'm also in, it just has so many connotations to it. But again, that comes from the students and their disrespect. And so it's a heated thing. And I've done the reading on it, the research, and every article goes one way, whether it's a male or a female writing it, or with a title as to whether you should or you shouldn't. So, okay, that's my story with that.
Who's your ideal audience?
It's truly people like you and that are at this point where you have a program. As I've been digging in since I talked with Jackie on one of her calls, I'm realizing it's really those people, not necessarily that are just getting going, even though I wouldn't mind having an offering like that. It's really more about leveling up that content, leveling up how you're developing the courses. How, a lot of what you're doing, I laughed when I was talking with Jackie because I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I've joked, I think on that call too. I want Jackie's job, just not for someone like you. I mean, for you, I don't want to take hers, but I want her job. So if that makes sense.
Yes. I love this conversation. Okay. So you're asking me, I'm an N of one and I have a doctorate and I'm in this coaching space. I'll give you my 2 cents.
Yep.
Take it or leave it. Academia has a massive ego around titles. When you get into the entrepreneur space, nobody gives a flying, you know what.
Yep.
I like rarely ever use the word doctor. Is it in my name up here? No, Melissa Hinault. It's funny because some of my friends, I've been guest speakers places. The facilitators will introduce me as Dr. Hinault. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do have a doctorate, but it is an ego thing. All my really close friends who are still in like clinical pharmacy, who have these 12,000 acronyms for certifications after the name for all their residency, post-residency, blah, 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 blah. Like it is an ego thing on LinkedIn for all of that to be listed out. And entrepreneurship, people just want to know if you're going to get them results, if it's going to impact their bottom line. Are you going to change their life? You guys, a lot of you have heard the story. Preston Smiles, he doesn't have a doctorate in anything. I gave the guy $40,000 to work with me as an energetics coach for 3 months. He had no certifications, no PhD, no doctorate, right? But he was making multiple millions and living the life energetically that I wanted to live. And I didn't care. I didn't give a flying flip what his certifications were, right? So I'm an N of one. You're asking my personal opinion. I think there's a lot of ego in academics. But the reason I asked about your target market, because we do have clients whose target market is in academia. So they have to toe that line and put it out there. And so if you're going to be marketing to that group, then you have to know their ego and you have to make sure you have those boxes checked. But if your mainstream audience is just mainstream entrepreneurship, that's not aggregated or segregated into the academic space, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Because I've dabbled both ways. And I even just recently thought I'd see if engagement, if that impacted it or not. And I have to say, I didn't notice a difference one way or the other. But I've also tossed it at the end with the PhD. But yeah, when I talk to people, no, don't, unless, yeah, it's just there.
You guys will love this for any of you with degrees, higher level degrees. We run the analytics on my account every single week, and we present it to the team on Mondays. And one of the data points that we look at is the most popular job titles of people who research you. And for the last 2 or 3 years, pharmacists and people with a doctorate were like the top people in the search function. And this sounds horrible, but we were like, that is not our audience. How do we get this out of the algorithms? And so what did we do? We dumbed down my title because the wrong people were finding me on the internet that we didn't want to market to. We wanted to be marketing to founders, entrepreneurs, right? And so the more we hyped up that degree and the more it was discoverable in my summary and my career history, the more the search engine was like putting me in front of the wrong people. So that's something to think about too.
So, okay, I just real fast then, since you headed down that path, because my other piece, and I know that this isn't supposed to be my resume anymore, and that's where it's been and how it's been. What do I do with that though? I mean, because do I put a background in the about section? Because, I mean, even when I'm working in this space, the fact that I've developed courses and programs for big names like MIT, Southern New Hampshire, Western Governor, I mean, that means something because it's that program level stuff.
Totally. I think you can put that in your summary session. Like we had a client who she was a social media manager for Justin Bieber and Chick-fil-A and Lowe's. So what we did in her summary, and she invested in our LinkedIn program, just saying, and in her summary, we put that, right? Like worked with Fortune 500 and celebrities and listed them. And people are going to sniff you out. Like how many of you guys went to my profile? It wasn't in my summary, but you could see my career history. I was a medical director here. I worked at GlaxoSmithKline. I was a pharmacist. It's there. It's just not in my summary and it's not in my title and my headline.
Okay.
Thanks guys so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Hey, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. Cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.